Hi, today we're going to work on a tote. This is actually a full-blown black tote, and today we'll learn all of the things that could go wrong because I did do a lot of wrong things. I first stenciled and I had bleed through. I pressed too hard, so I decided, rather than giving up, which I am known to do, I would go ahead and use it artistically. And so there's still some areas that I don't like, but no big deal. I have a black outline pen and I have more green because I don't like this right here. And so let's get started. Hi, are you ready to go on a furniture restoration adventure with me? Come on, let's go. Hi, I'm Leslie Johnson from Layla's Landing. This tote is way overdue. It's intended to be a Mother's Day present for my daughter. It's almost ready for next year's Mother's Day present. Please join me as you see how I started this. I used photos at some point because I wasn't even sure I was going to video this, because when I started I did not like it. I used stencils and they bled through, and so I decided that I would paint it. And now there's still more that needs to be done. This canvas tote is a kit from Jamie Ray Vintage, and it's sunflowers. And I wanted to do the stencil on the tote because it's a Mother's Day present for my daughter, and she loves sunflowers. Unfortunately, I'm just not very good at stencils. So and I'm also did not know that there's probably special things you need to know about stenciling on canvas, because I ended up going way too juicy and the paint went underneath the stencil and it lost a lot of its form, especially on the stems and leaves. So, and I started out with paint that probably, if I would have known this was just a light sketch coat, nothing really important. But I did it and I was really unhappy because it was very light and it looked like it had been in the sun and faded out. So I said, okay, well, I have to do another trial. And when I started to, I put my stencil back on and it just would not line up. I was that juicy on my stencil. So I said, okay, I'm going to do this by hand. I've done other stenciling before, and one of the things I've never liked is how hard the edges are. So I thought, hand painting it would be a good thing. And so the very first picture is actually the second picture. I hated the first picture so bad that I did not take a picture of it. And I was worried that I had ruined my tote. So that's why I didn't take a picture of it, because it was very disappointing. I was pretty upset. So now this photo is of the second, and you can see that it's still bleached out quite a bit, and you can still see that, like, the far left sunflower, the brown isn't going where it all needs to, and the big right one has kind of a border on it, and I don't want it to have that much of a border. I'm not sure if this one in the middle is, I might try and put some green and brown on the bottom to kind of show that the sunflower bloom has a backing to it. And then this one on the right, I've pretty much done over because I could not figure out how to fix it. So I just went online and found a photo of sunflowers. It was hard to find this one because it's facing away and it's not fully developed, but and the other thing is it continued to be light, and I did not like that. So I went back into my paint cabinet and I found more paints. Now, I'm moving, so I don't necessarily have the paints that I want for this next chapter where it's going to be a live video, but I still got darker, and that was much, much better. And then the third rendition is where I pulled out my Deco Color paint pen. I actually have another paint pen. I didn't really like the way it was looking, and this one is specifically for any material, including canvas, so that's what I'm going to be using from now on. I still am not happy with the way the leaves are, but I was able to go in and do some separation. I'm probably going to get another photo of sunflowers to try and get some some semblance of actual sunflower leaves. And my last photo, I pulled up a really pretty sunflower. My second to last photo, I pulled up a picture of a really pretty group of sunflowers, and they had this sunshiny yellow on the left side, and it looked like highlights, but it was like sunshine instead, because these are sunflowers. And so I said, oh, I have just the product for that. And I tried doing it, and if you look at it, I just don't like it. It did not work. So my last one before I start trying to work on this now is more of the yellow and a little bit more of my Deco pen. And I just took this photo and I kind of walked away after that. I haven't worked on it for several weeks. I also owed my daughter a birthday present, and my idea was to put her birthday presents and this all in a present for her birthday and for Mother's Day. It is now way past Mother's Day, in case you didn't notice, and I just gave her birthday present a few days ago. May 5th is her birthday, Cinco de Mayo. And we decided that I wouldn't give this to her until we moved. The reason I'm moving is she's moving, and I want to be close to my grandsons, and I don't want to have to drive an hour to visit the whole family. So one of the things if I wanted to just do this as kind of a, in theory type of sunflower, esoteric, I could have given it to her, but I needed to iron it. In order to set some of this paint, it needs to be ironed. And that way, if you put it in the wash, it will be somewhat color fast. It's not like you're going to be washing it every week or anything like that, but if you wash it, once a year or twice a year, it should be okay. But my iron was borrowed by her, and she packed it. And I thought I had it, and we looked all over the place, and we could not find it. And then she told me, well, she's had it for 6 months, and she packed it. So she said, why don't you give me my birthday presents? And sometime after we both move, which mine probably won't be until August, you can give me my Mother's Day present. And so that's what we're doing. And this video is to hopefully finish it up to at least the standards that I like. It's not like it's terrible. It's just not, I don't like the leaves. I just do not like the leaves. And I wish that they were more representative of a sunflower. And the easy parts will be to do the sunflower and maybe improve this middle one with kind of a cup of green and brown. And I'm not sure if I'll do anything for this. I have since eliminated that yellow part because it didn't even look like a highlight on this. So I took my green paint and I put a little water in my brush, and I just kind of scooched it over the yellow so I wouldn't see it anymore, because it just doesn't look good. So without further ado, I'm going to take my, I thought I had another paintbrush here. Oh, no? No. Oh well, I guess I'll get rid of this. Sorry. Casual break. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is the brown, because the brown is going to be easiest. Just fixing this far left one and this far right one. This one will take a little bit more imagination, but that's fine. I think I can do that easy. I have it in my brain how I'm going to do it, so I think I can do it. So I'm just taking some paint. The other thing I did, because the paints were showing up faded, is I eventually got Jamie Ray Vintage curated DIY paints that have a top coat in it, because they showed up better. Okay, so the one thing that I wanted to clarify is that some of these are Jamie Ray Vintage's curated colors, which that's an all-in-one paint. It contains a top coat. Those would probably not need to be ironed because they're color fast. I mean, they're good for outside, they're good for anywhere, and I will have to be careful when I iron it because top coat can melt. And so, like for example, the paints that I'm using right now, the brown, the green, and the yellow, are all DIY clay-based paints, and they need to be set through heat. The Jamie Ray Vintage all-in-one paint does not need to be set because it's got a top coat in it. And so I will have to plan around the Jamie Ray Vintage paints and just try to set the DIY clay-based paint. And so here I am, and I'm just kind of trying to follow the brown or the yellow petals to kind of not make it a total plain hard circle. So there's that one. And then this one, I'm just going to kind of sketch it up to the petals so that it doesn't look like I just went. And just to let you know, this is really, really a sad thing for me. I mean, I started out screwing up things, and I showed it on a number of Facebook pages after I had already fixed them, mind you. And people said, "Oh, that looks so cool. It looks like you distressed it, or like 40 years ago they did it wrong." And I'm like, "Oh, that's really great. I already covered it up." So that's why I'm continuing this. It's not as pretty as I thought it would be, but I think it's going to be okay. And that's why I'm pushing forward. I think that we all tend to say, "Oh, this is terrible," and we don't show it to anybody, and we don't do anything. And then like 10 years later, somebody sees it and goes, "Oh, that's so incredible." So that's why I'm doing this. I am refusing to let myself give up. And I give up a lot. So this is kind of a good thing. So there, I didn't really put a lot of paint in here. I just kind of made it so the edges were a little bit more natural. And now I am over here on the middle one that's kind of a cup. And so I'm going to put some green in here. And I'm just going to, I'll probably need to put more green, more brown until it looks something like a flower holding, like the background or the cup of the flower holding the flower as it rises up from its base. And I will probably also, once this is dry, I'll probably run some green lines through it or brown, depending on what it needs. But I just wanted to make this so that the center of the flower just didn't float. There. And I think that's all. I was going to do something to the right, but I'm not. So, I think I need to just let this dry and come up with what I want to do next. And what I want to do next is probably to take this stencil and put it on the stems and leaves, and I'll probably use my black acrylic paint to provide some separation in the leaves so it doesn't look like all blobby. So we first have to wait for that to dry. This color is weathered wood. It is very dark, but it is not black. And I wanted to use black, but guess what? It's packed. I have a feeling this is going to be the story of my life for the duration. So hopefully I'm going to find a place and sell this place in like 5 minutes. And weathered wood, for the longest time when I saw it being used by Jamie Ray Vintage and Debbie's Design Diary, I thought it was black, but it was not. So I want to just try to introduce, maybe I need both colors. I just want a hint of green, just to show that it's, you know, alive. And then same up here. And then I think what I'll do is come back down with a little more yellow. There, I don't really like this yet, but I'm going to keep on trying. Here's another. Now, see, my brush is very, very small. I mean, it's not very brushy. And if this does not work, then what I'm going to do is go do some research to see exactly what I'm trying to do. Maybe I need way more yellow, or maybe it all needs to be black, or maybe I need to water this down. Maybe I need to not drop my paintbrush. This is damp, so that's why it's working. And I think I want to put a little water in there with it, so it's a little more, a lot less thick. At this point, I'm just trying to hint that this is what it is, because it's not, it didn't work out the way I wanted to. So now I'm just trying to improve it and get it so that it just looks like one that's starting. Ooh, that might be too much yellow, but let's just do it. Because I have looked at many, many pictures. It's not like I just looked at one and said, oh, let's try this. I sat down and looked at quite a few pictures before I started hand painting this. The other thing you have to do, especially when you're making mistakes and you don't know what the heck you've done, is you have to go back. That's one of the reasons why there's pictures at the beginning of this, is because I knew that what I saw with my own two eyes was not really what it was, because I was really upset that I had ruined it. So I took pictures, and it didn't look as bad as I thought it did. So I'm just filling this in, and then I will let it go. And I might even have to make some more pictures and do more to it some other time. Because I don't think I've ruined it totally. I mean, I don't think it's like, oh my God, let's throw this away or hide this so nobody ever sees it. I don't think it's that bad, but I don't think it's what I wanted or representative of the this sunflower. This sunflower I just don't like. No matter what I've done to it so far, I just don't like it. But we'll just see. And now I want to give a little definition to these. And then I'm going to come back to the dark right down here. And what I'm going to do is and these are all, what I'm doing now is not cottage colors, so they're all very water soluble. And until they cure, they are water soluble. I wouldn't, once they cure, I wouldn't like put them in the washer or dryer, but I mean the washer, because this is water soluble. So you need the heat. And then this might be the thing that ruins me. I really love this, but I really hate it too. Because it's so easy to just go wrong. I need water on this. I just don't like, this looks like there's a line here. If you look at the top camera, you can see that it looks like there's a line here, and I don't want that to be there, so that's the only reason I have the yellow out. Because the flowers are supposed to be going that way. Okay, I'm going to let that dry and see where we are after that. And now there's still more that needs to be done, like highlighting here. I don't like it. And some of the petals just got a little bit overrun, and so I have this paint pen to outline. And so I plan to use a different green to get the highlighting out, and this paint pen to just make it a little bit crisper. The first thing I don't like is I pulled a picture and I tried to do highlight, but I just don't like it, so I'm just gonna come here and cover it over. No big deal. And just for your information, this is Salty Kiss, and it's a DIY clay paint. I've used both clay paint and DIY color, cottage color for this. DIY paint needs to be heat sealed. And so I'm going to be using my dryer on the hottest setting. But meanwhile, we are just getting rid of this highlight. That's all we're doing. It's no big deal. This tote is for my daughter, as I said, and it is late, but the reason I chose this stencil is because my daughter literally just loves sunflowers. And so when I saw the sunflower stencil, I said, oh, this would be perfect on this tote. And as I've been learning this process of actually being an artist, I'm learning that I am so critical of myself that I want to give up way too soon. And I wanted to give up on this, but I'm not going to. I think I can save it. It's not, I say save it because to me, I've really screwed this up and now I should just throw it away. But I know that I can fix it, so. And I'm not trying to be negative, as in it's hard for you to do. I'm just trying to explain that sometimes as an artist, you can just be so self-critical that you fail to get it done. Not fail, but you fail to get it done. So that's why I introduced this piece with follow along and learn from my mistakes. As this dries, we'll be able to see exactly how it comes out, because this is a different green than the one that you see most of. Another thing that happens sometimes when you stencil is you don't like how harsh the lines are. And so if you watch Debbie's design channel, she's the creator of DIY paint, you'll find her, she actually has lessons on how to make these look like oil paintings, only they're with DIY paint. And it's really cool. I plan to maybe try to do that more. It looks like I'm not gonna maybe get all the highlight out that I wanted, but you know what? We're just gonna go with it. I'll have to look at it later and see if I can stand it. Once again, I'm being very negative, and I don't mean to be. It's just extremely hard to show people your art when you're not confident with your own art. So if you look at this, these petals are very smushed together. And so I'm just taking the marker and I'm just putting lines in. And I'm just outlining where I feel like it needs a little boundary, not like I have to outline the whole entire thing. And if you look at this one, this was really hard for me to feature. I didn't think it looked right, but now that I've actually had it done, it's obvious that it's a bud and it's not like this. So I really like how that turned out. I don't want to don't want to get my arm all painted or smear paint. I think that's going to be good, but I think what I'll do here is come back and have it be a little bit more liquidy. Oh, and I see I need to outline this over here much more. There. Hopefully my daughter will like this. See, and that looks much crisper. Maybe do a little over here. The other thing I learned on this project is that the leaves are not all like this, which is the way they were stenciled, but somehow I moved or I just got a blob. No big deal. I just made green leaves. It's not like it has to be perfect. It just has to be pretty. Okay, I think I'm done. I might look at this upside down just to get a different perspective. And you want to use, if you're going to outline, you want to use just the corner. Because if you don't use the corner, it's a big, huge line. Ask me how I know. Let's see. How's this look? This looks okay. I might want to put a little depth there. Okay. I'm going to call that good. Now, I need to let this dry, and then I will put it in a very hot dryer. I have high for my dryer. The problem for me is I don't have an iron. Yes, I own an iron. Nobody knows where it is. It's all of these boxes everywhere. I even have a storage unit full of my possessions. So that's when I remembered that you can iron. I mean, you can dry, heat dry. I keep on finding little things that I want to do, but as an artist, you guys probably know that it's really hard to finish. You just want to keep on futzing with it, but really, as an impressionist type, maybe not impressionist, but more of an artsy sunflower, I think it's fine. Nope, one more place. Maybe even do that. Just try and give it some more leafy experience. All right, so then we wait for it to dry, and then I put it in the dryer. I think it only needs about, well, my dryer is hot, really hot. I'm going to put it on high and very dry, and it will be very high. So I think it only needs to get really hot. I don't think it needs to be in there for half an hour. I think it just needs to be really hot. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just put it in for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to call it, then I'm going to be able to give it to my daughter. The other reason I could not give it to my daughter is that she was moving, and the last thing she really wanted was something else to pack. So at least I do have part of an excuse. There. I'm not sure if you can see this, but the DIY paint is drying. There's a little blop here and a little place here, and here it's mostly dry. I mean, mostly wet. So that's what I'm waiting for before I put it in the dryer, because I don't want my inside of my dryer to be green. That's all. If you look at this, you'll see that it's dry. I put it out in the sun, and because it was black, it immediately dried. I think it was like 5 or 10 minutes. So now we just need to put it in the dryer to heat seal it. So just to protect it, we're going to put it in a pillowcase. And then I'm going to tie it up. I don't think it will get hurt, but you know, it's always best not to mess around. And then I want time dry, temperature high, dry time. No, dry time's going to 20. So I guess I'll just do, it's on 40 minutes. It's not gonna be on 40 minutes. 10 minutes, it's gonna be on 10. It won't look any different though, unless the dryer does something to it, which this is the first time, so I wouldn't know. In fact, let's take it down. There. Now it's on 10 minutes, so it'll be done. What do we want to do now? Watch the dryer go round and round? And now my tote bag is heat sealed, 10 minutes in the dryer. Please like and subscribe and join me next time. I'm going grocery shopping.